Hello, I welcome you all. From previous three videos, we have started the design of T-shaped cantilever retaining wall. This was our problem statement, and till now we have completed total 5 steps, and that 5 steps were preliminary dimension. Second step was to give various checks, that is check against overturning, check against sliding, check against maximum pressure. Third step was design of toe slab. Next was design of hill slab. Fifth step was design of step. Now we will move towards next step, that is step number 6. Curtailment of reinforcement in stem. Curtailment of the reinforcement in stem. For previous steps, you can go through the video. Link for the video is provided in the description box. Now we will move towards step number 6. Now we are supposed to provide the curtailment. We are supposed to provide curtailment. Curtailment of the reinforcement is carried out to achieve economy. Now unnecessary extra steel is to be provided. Unnecessary extra steel should not be provided. Hence, to achieve the economy, actual requirement of the steel, that much only should be provided, and hence curtailment of the reinforcement is carried out to achieve economy. Now bending moment is nearby 50% at about 0.5 H from the top. Bending moment is nearby 50% at about 0.5 H from the top. Now actually what is this? Now if you consider this stem diagram, we have calculated this bending moment at this bottom. Now as height of the stem goes on increasing, or as we move from the far from this fixed end, moment goes on decreasing, and hence here at mid portion, that is at 0.5 H, bending moment is nearly 50% of this bending moment at the bottom. 50% of moment at bottom. Moment at the mid height is nearly 50% of the moment about bottom. Hence, no need of providing extra steel above this 50% height, because moment is maximum at the bottom and it goes on decreasing gradually when height of the stem or when we move far from the fixed end. And as we move far from the fixed end, moment goes on increasing, and hence steel also goes on increasing, and hence we are supposed to provide the curtailment, and this curtailment is provided above this height, above this 0.5 H. Now we will see how this curtailment is provided. Now this will be the case. This is the retaining wall stem portion. This is the reinforcement that is to be provided. Now this is the sectional elevation of the stem. This is sectional elevation of the stem, and here we have provided the curtailment. Now say this is per meter length of this stem portion. This is the reinforcement provided torque 16 at 100 mm center to center. Sorry, this we have calculated as 125 mm center to center. 125 mm center to center torque 16. That is main reinforcement to be provided on the inner side of stem. Now, as moment goes on increasing as we move far from the fixed end, hence curtailment should be provided. Now, what curtailment we have provided? We have curtailed our reinforcement to 16 mm at 200 mm center to center. We have doubled this spacing. Now as in our design, our spacing has come 125, hence we should provide here curtailment of 16 mm at 250 mm center to center, and hence above this height, alternate bars are cut down. See, these are the bars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and below this height, this spacing is at 125 mm center to center say, and above this height, this spacing is double, because we have curtailed this alternate bars here. यहाँ पर हमने जो बार्स है वो कट किए हैं alternately, और alternate bars we have taken up to the entire height of the stem, and hence spacing in between this will become 125 plus 125, that is 250, and hence this is nothing but curtailment. Now this point is called as TPC and this point is called as APC. TPC is nothing but theoretical point of curtailment. APC is nothing but our actual point of curtailment, and actual point of curtailment is nothing but 0.8 into H minus 12.5 or D effective, whichever is greater, and hence this actual point of curtailment comes as 0.8 into H, that is 4.4 meter, minus D effective 0.452 that we have calculated, and this APC comes to 3.94 meter. Now this is just for your explanation. During designing this, you are not supposed to write down this part in the examination. Now TPC, as per the rule, bar to be curtailed shall be extended by the distance of 12 phi or d effective, whichever is more. Now above this theoretical point of curtailment, this bar should be extended up to actual point of curtailment, and distance or difference between actual point of curtailment and theoretical point of curtailment should be 12 phi or d effective, whichever is greater, and phi is nothing but diameter of bar. Now spacing of the reinforcement beyond APC becomes 200 mm center to center up to top of the stem. Now when this have become 200 mm center to center, when this design calculation comes 100 mm center to center, but as per our design spacing has come 125 mm center to center, hence we will provide 16 mm tower at 125 mm center to center at the bottom portion, and we will double the spacing above this theoretical part of curtailment, theoretical point of curtailment, and this spacing will become 16 mm at double of this 250 mm center to center. Now again keep in mind why this curtailment is provided. This curtailment is provided because as you move far from this end, fixed end, moment goes on increasing, and to achieve economy, actual required of steel only should be provided. Hence we are curtailing this steel by 50%. Alternate bars are cut down, that is we are curtailing this steel by 50%. Hence alternate bars are cut down at this point, and remaining alternate bars are taken up to entire height of the stem. In this way curtailment of the reinforcement in stem should be done. Now we will move towards step number 7. Now as our retaining wall failed against sliding, hence as our retaining wall failed in sliding, we are supposed to provide shear key. Here we can get, this was our retaining wall and we are provided shear key, that is extra portion to the retaining wall that is provided at the bottom, and this shear key can be provided from this end up to the heel between any of this portion. This shear key can be provided from the end of the toe up to heel in any of this portion or any of this slab base width. This shear key can be provided. Now we will prefer to provide this shear key beneath the stem. Now there is reason behind this why this shear key is not provided beneath the toe, because if you provide this shear key beneath the toe, then it will lead to overturning moment. It will lead in overturning moment, hence our retaining wall will fail in overturning. And so as to maintain the stabilizing moment, we are supposed to provide the shear key beneath the stem or beneath the heel. So as to maintain the stabilizing moment, we are supposed to provide this shear key beneath the stem or beneath the heel. Now Fys against sliding we have calculated as mu into summation W by summation P, which we have failed. Hence consider depth of the shear key as 1 meter. Here H will become 5.5 is the total height of the retaining wall plus 1 meter depth we have provided for the shear key. This is the depth of the shear key, 1 meter we have provided. Total height of the retaining wall becomes 6.5 meter. And H1 will become 0.5 plus 1, that is 1.5 meter. Now what actually is H1? H1 is here nothing but depth of the retaining wall considering depth of this base slab plus depth of this shear key. Depth of this shear key we have provided 1 meter and depth of this base slab we have provided 0.5 meter. Hence in total this H1 will become 1.5 meter. And hence as this depth has increased, passive pressure will act, and this passive pressure will be against the lateral pressure P1 and P2. This passive pressure will be in opposite direction in comparison with P1 and P2, and this passive pressure will be calculated by this triangular pressure diagram, that is base here will be Kp into gamma into H1. Kp is nothing but passive earth pressure coefficient, gamma is unit weight of soil, and H1 is nothing but this height, this 0.5 plus 1 meter, that will be H1. And this is the pressure diagram for this P1 and P2, that will be the overturning forces or lateral forces leading for the overturning moment. And here this base is nothing but Ka into gamma into H. This base of triangular portion is nothing but Ka into gamma into H. Now we will calculate the total weight W. Total weight W will be 225.25 kilonewton. Now this 225.25 kilonewton we have calculated in the step number 2nd. Let us look. Now in this step number 2nd we have calculated the total downward acting forces, that is nothing but 225.25 kilonewton in the step number 2nd. In previous videos you can go through this, link for same is provided. Total downward acting force, that is stabilizing forces, was 225.25 kilonewton. In this way we have calculated. Now we are supposed to add total dead weight of this shear key into this total dead weight calculated previously in the step number 2. Hence 225 plus 25, this will be added with the weight of the shear key. Here weight of the shear key, that is nothing but 25 unit weight of concrete into per meter length of the slab, that is 1 meter, into 0.5. 0.5 is nothing but 0.5 is nothing but width of this shear key. 0.5 is nothing but width of this shear key, and 1 is nothing but depth of the shear key, that is depth of the shear key 1 meter. Hence total W acting here will be 225.25 plus weight of the shear key plus weight of the soil adjacent to the shear key, as this soil will also act as stabilizing forces. Hence we will calculate 225.25 plus 12.5. This will be the weight of the shear key, that is 25 into per meter length 1 meter into 0.5, that is width of the shear key, into 1, that is depth of the shear key. Plus we are supposed to calculate weight of the adjacent soil to the shear key, and it will be calculated as, now this 3 meter is the total width of the base slab. This 3 meter is the total width of the base slab, hence 3 minus 0.5. If we subtract this 3 with 0.5, we will get remaining width of this soil portion. Hence 3 minus 0.5 into 1, 1 is nothing but depth of the soil, into 1, that is per meter length, into 16, that is unit weight of soil. 3 minus 0.5, what we are doing? We are subtracting this area so that we will get resultant area of this soil. Hence 3 minus this 0.5 will give resultant width of this soil portion, into 1 is nothing but per meter length, into 1 is nothing but second this depth of the soil, into 16 unit weight of concrete, and total downward forces comes to 277.75 kilonewton. This will be downward forces, nothing but stabilizing forces. Now resultant lateral pressure will be PA minus PP. PA minus PP. Here you can go through this. This P1 and P2 are acting in left direction, PP is acting in the right direction. Hence resultant of these forces will be, PA will be P1 plus P2. Hence this PA minus PP, that will be the resultant forces acting. Now we will calculate P1, half base into height, half Ka into gamma into H into H. Now H here will be 6.5 meter because we have increased the depth of the shear key, that is 1 meter. Hence total height will be 5.5, that was previous height, and this 1 is nothing but depth of the shear key. Hence total height will become 6.5 meter. In this way, half base into height 6.5 into unit weight of soil 16. Similarly, this P2 will be pressure, lateral pressure, that is 0.33 into 16 into 1 into 6.5. Hence active earth pressure here will become 145.92 kilonewton. Passive earth pressure here will be due to this pressure diagram. Passive earth pressure here will be due to this pressure diagram, that is Kp into gamma into H1 into half into height. Hence half base will be Kp into gamma into H1 into H1, Pp will be 54, and Kp we have calculated as reciprocal of Ka. Reciprocal of active earth pressure will give passive earth pressure coefficient. Hence summation P will be this PA 145.92 minus PP 54, that is resultant force acting here will be 91.92 kilonewton. 91.92 kilonewton. Hence factor of safety against sliding will be calculated as mu into summation W by summation P. It should be greater than 1.5. This frictional coefficient is given as 0.55. Total weight W we have calculated as 277.75 kilonewton, and summation P we have calculated as 91.92, and hence this ratio comes to 1.66, which is greater than 1.55. Hence our section is safe against sliding. Hence our section is safe against sliding. Now in this way we have completed total step number 6 and step number 7, that is curtailment of the reinforcement in the stem and design of the shear key. For any doubts or query, you can go through the notes. Link for the notes is provided in the description box, or you can comment in the comment box. In the upcoming video, we will move towards reinforcement summary and reinforcement detailing. In the upcoming video, we will move towards reinforcement summary and reinforcement detailing of this T-shaped retaining wall, which is the most important thing, how reinforcement should be provided, and we will move towards reinforcement summary. Till then, thank you.